Welcome to Not Starving Artists, the podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Benson, money coach and equity actor. I am your financial cheerleader, here to help you build your financial confidence and have power over your money. The best part, no budgeting or bi-weekly paychecks required. I went from being a broke BFA grad having weekly panic attacks about money to a financially confident, wealth-building actor and business owner. Money gets to feel fun, simple, and sexy, and I am going to show you how. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of my podcast series, Inside One-on-One Coaching. Now, I've done one of these series before, and what you're about to hear is a real-life coaching call with me. Why I wanted to do this series again is because I think it's really important for you all to hear how money gets talked about behind closed doors. Now, just so you're aware, every single person who you are about to hear inside of this series has consented to being on the podcast. They came into the recording knowing exactly what these recordings would be used for. So with these coaching calls, there's a few reasons why I want you to hear them. One is because I think it's important to hear that we all have so many of the same money narratives that we're trying to work through, financial struggles that we're trying to work through, right? You're not special, but in the best way, right? In the most liberating way. That's one of the reasons I want you to hear these. The second thing is I want you to hear how much we can accomplish, whether it be mindset or tactical, can be accomplished in just 30 minutes. Each of these coaching calls was a 30-minute coaching call. And most of these people I had never worked with before. So I want you to hear how much we get through in just 30 minutes. And I want you to hear that as just 30 minutes of intentional focused time on your money can yield so much results. Okay? There's this huge misconception that getting your money shit together is going to take hours and hours and hours and so much time and energy and all of this stuff. And sure, maybe some methods, maybe some financial advice that is out there. Yes, that would be the case. Not here at Not Starving Artists, baby. We got too much art and too much change in the world to do to let money take up too much of our life. So I'm so excited for you to hear these coaching sessions. If you yourself are interested in one-on-one coaching with me, you can find all of the details at the link in the show notes. You can also find it at notstarvingartist.com under the tab One-on-One Money Mentorship. Now let's get into it.
Hello.
Hi, Marjorie. It's so good to see you.
Oh, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for fitting me in.
Yes, I'm so excited to get to coach you today. So before we dive in, can you give me just a little bit of a life update, where you're at, what you're doing? I read your form, but tell me what's going on.
Of course. Yeah. So, right now for, the survival job, since I was doing theater, so much more profoundly before, I now ghostwrite romance novels. Working on writing my own romance novel. I still write plays, but, still involved in the arts. But, when you write for work, it's less fun.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the work update. I moved into my own apartment, now I have my office space now. So that's been a big life update.
That's a
But
big deal.
yeah,
Where's your new apartment?
I'm still in Chicago, just different neighborhood. And yeah.
That's amazing. I feel like moving into your own place that has an office is one of the big life moves, right?
It was really major. And, especially being self-employed, it's such a, okay,
Yes.
now I get the write-off.
Yes, exactly. And also I need a door. The separation is a godsend.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Okay, so let's dive into coaching.
Great.
I read your form. I want to know what you want to focus on for today.
Yeah, I guess what I really appreciate about your platform and how you talk about money is it's not a no fear mindset, but I'm just getting comfortable with the fact that, especially being self-employed and stuff like that, money fluctuates, your life fluctuates. There's no panic about the way that you communicate, the how to handle money. And so I'm currently in kind of a season, and have been for a while, of spending, just because, I moved, I have to make these investments in my career, stuff like that. And I'm also coming up on August, taking kind of a big swing and really pulling back on my work for the next month so I can get my own projects done. So, and of course that means, going to the money I've set aside for stuff like this. And so I guess I'm really looking for encouragement and guidance on getting comfortable spending the money I've made.
Yes. Okay, so talk to me. Let's go tactical first. We
Okay.
always go tactical because we when we're doing the emotional mindset work, we want it to be based in a fact rather than just like based on vibes and feelings. Let's have
Totally.
feelings about facts. So tell me what you have saved and like what you saved for. Tell me more about that piece of it.
Sure. So I have should I give you numbers? Is that okay, great. So I have about 21,000 in a high yield savings account right now.
Mhm.
And then I have about 11,000 in my Roth IRA. And the the checking account fluctuates a lot more lately than I'd like it to, but it is what it
Oh.
is. So like I looking at my high yield savings and because I have, an automated number every week that goes away for quarterly taxes, right? So I definitely wanted to be in a better or like I wanted to have more squirreled away before I got to this sort of it's not fun employed, but like that's how so I do have money in my ally bucket because I'm an ally girly.
Love ally here.
For that purpose, and I'm not pulling entirely back on work, but I'm going from making like 5,000, 6,000 every month to pulling back to like 2,000 maybe. So yeah, that those are the numbers for now.
What's in your bucket? So you have the 21K in the ally account. What is in your
Yes.
buckets? What buckets do you have?
Let me look at my buckets. I went through like this phase where I was so into my money. I was using You Need a Budget. I was using that like religiously
YNAB.
years
Oh,
ago.
it's
Why
the
now?
My Fitness Pal of the finance industry.
I gave up on it when they raised their rates a couple years ago and they would never like sync with my American Express. I was finally like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I haven't because of that, I haven't gotten like really good on my buckets yet. I currently have 1,900 in my fun employed, but I also have like a future bucket with like 3,500 in it. And then I have an emergency bucket with 4,000 in it. And it's kind of all there's like a vacation bucket, but none of it ever I never go there for the money. Like it's all in these buckets. These buckets are full for whatever reason, and the
Uh-huh.
money just comes out of the checking, and you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So here's what your buckets tell me.
yeah,
Your buckets tell me that you're like playing with buckets, but like it's fake because you're
yeah,
like, all of these buckets are all for emergencies. I'm just titling them different things. It's like vacations, AKA emergencies, unemployment, AKA emergencies. It's all just an emergency fund, right?
yes.
Because there's no real reasoning for the amounts that you have in each of these buckets. So let's actually get clear on what this $21,000 actually is for you. So let's start there.
Mhm.
So first you have your taxes bucket,
Yeah.
right? How are you calculating your taxes? Are you doing 25% or what are you doing?
I do like I am probably a little bit bad about it.
Mhm.
Kind of probably well, last year I really underpaid, but that was because of my insurance and fluctuating stuff.
Sure.
Um, so I basically just saved $200 a week and I put it in my tax bucket and I'm factoring in the write-offs now.
Cool. Okay. Are you keeping track of your write-offs in a spreadsheet? How are you
I
keeping?
am. I am.
Cool. I want to throw a software your way called Wave.
Okay, yeah.
It's a free software. It's the accounting software I recommend if you're doing your own bookkeeping for these purposes. It basically takes the spreadsheet and like automates it a little bit for
Great.
you, so you can go play with that if you want. A spreadsheet is still fine, but what I will say about saving for taxes is 25% of your profit is what you want to shoot for.
Yeah.
So if the 200 a week is in alignment with 25% of your profit, great. All you have to do, right, is just go through and see how much is in your tax savings bucket
Right.
and then do the calculation for this year so far, all of your deductions and all of your income. What's your profit? 25% of that. Does that align with your tax bucket? Because we want to make sure that that's accurate. Do you have those numbers readily available?
The which numbers? Sorry.
Profit for this year. like after your deductions?
Um, I do not.
Cool. So I'm gonna double down on recommending Wave to you. You
Yeah,
could use
please.
another accounting software if you want, but a software like that is gonna make it easy for you to like go in and on your dashboard, it's gonna say profit 2024. And you can
Great.
just multiply that by 25%.
That'd be amazing. Because yeah, like right now, as of now, I'm like, but I have a spreadsheet for every month, but I'm compiling stuff I make through like a platform, and then like payments I'm getting through PayPal, and they're all titled different things and they're all in folders.
Word.
So
Yeah.
that's definitely the move for me.
Yeah. Because I want you to be able to have the data you have month to month. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But you also want to be able to see it over the long term. And a software like that, you can pull that data.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not as robust as QuickBooks, so it doesn't get overwhelming.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I know accountants who are listening to this don't come for me, right? But if we're doing it on our own, we're not QuickBooks girlies.
It's too much. QuickBooks is too much.
Yes.
But,
Okay.
but that is great. Yeah.
Yes. So tax bucket. What's currently in your tax bucket?
Currently, I have my tax bucket is like over full because when I paid my taxes, I didn't like reconfigure back in June. So
Okay.
I'm currently at 3,200.
Okay. Cool. And then you have an emergency bucket, you said?
I do have an emergency bucket with 4K in it
Okay. And then a vacation bucket.
with 1,800.
Okay. What else?
I have oh my gosh. I have the fun employed bucket with 1,900.
Huh?
I have a future bucket with 3,500. It's
Love
just
it.
I'm thinking about what you said and
Uh-huh.
because it's so true.
Yeah.
Um, I have a home bucket with 2K in it,
Okay.
and then um just a random bucket with like $800 in it, and then the core savings is 3,857 and 61 cents.
Yep. Okay, cool. So here we are. So this is why you don't feel comfortable pulling from your savings right now, because
Right.
it's all loosely flagged as emergency. And
Mhm.
because this is something you are choosing to do because you want to, and it's not like a core baseline need SOS energy, because you've put yourself in a position where you can take a step back, it feels a little bit more luxurious.
Yeah,
Of course, you don't want to pull that money.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to rebucket so your brain can actually understand $21,000.
Great.
What are your month to month expenses? Like, what does it cost to live as Marjorie month to month?
Okay. Well, my rent is like 1,500.
Okay.
Um, and then, as far as the numbers go, I've definitely been like free balling it. Like in the set and like I'm fine. Like it's fine, but I am definitely always kind of feeling it out more than anything. So as far as like the things I know have to get paid every month, I have my like $1,500 for rent. I have 450 for insurance. Generally, if I'm playing it safe, like I guess 150 to 200 for utilities. I'm trying to think what other things I'm like, you know, on a consistent basis because I'm a shopper, so I end up, I'm much better than I used to be, but there are definitely always these sort of like little errant expenses here and there.
Sure.
And then like lately I've been thinking a lot about subscriptions because I definitely am at that place where I'm like, wow, there are like a lot of subscriptions going on all of a sudden. So I mean, I guess to be safe there, again, like 200 with, antivirus and streaming and this and that. So
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some homework here.
yeah,
I want you to know these numbers. So
yeah.
you're going to do a little spending research project where you're going to go
Mhm.
into your bank accounts. You're going to make a master list of all of your auto pays or those monthly expenses that happen every single month. Rent, utilities will be the only one that really fluctuates month to
Right.
month. Everything else is going to be an auto pay. So I want you to include all your subscriptions, anything that gets auto drafted. And that number is going to be the same every single month. Okay. So I want you to find that number. I call that your firm number because that's the number that doesn't shift except for utilities a little bit.
Sure.
Then you're going to find your flex number. Your flex number is that miscellaneous shopping, your groceries, your takeout, your going out, your entertainment, anything else you spend money on that isn't like new furniture, a flight, like those big expenditures, because those will come out of your savings.
Right.
I want you to find that average number, okay? And then moving forward, I want you to decide what you want that number to be. So you're going to use that data. Like, let's say 1 month it was $800. 1 month it was $2,300. 1 month it was $1,500. Maybe you want to decide moving forward, it's going to be $1,500, right? And then you can keep track of that. How you keep track of that without budgeting, like without YNAB, is you just put that money in a separate checking account.
Smart.
Right? So you fill it up at the start of the month and then you spend out of that bank account throughout the month so you can just watch the money go down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have to budget. You just check in on it every couple of days.
That's so smart. You're so smart.
The money flow method, baby. I'll never stop screaming it from the rooftops. Okay, so you're gonna do that because I want those numbers so clear in your brain, because let's say your firm number is 2,300, right? 2,300. And let's say your flex number is 1,700, just to give us an even 4,000, right? So your firm and your flex added together, I call that your baseline. That is what Marjorie's life costs month to month to month, okay? $4,000. So then you can take that number, 4,000, and you can multiply it by 3, right? Put that in a bucket called your on-deck buffer, and now $12,000, you're 3 months ahead on bills. Do you see how that's so much clearer than an emergency fund?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell your brain that even when you're taking a step back income wise, no matter what happens, your next 3 months of bills, lifestyle are paid for.
Totally. Yeah, it's definitely like that barrier between, because I went through the whole money thing a couple years ago, when the onset of COVID, we all were like going through all of our money things, and I was really into it, and now it's gotten emotional again. And it's like, if I just knew the numbers, I wouldn't be freaking out.
Yeah. Why do you think it got emotional again? What do you think happened?
I think when I went from, I was a teacher, and then I was I was a nanny, and I was in the caregiving field, and I went from having like, a W-2 and insurance was taken care of and all this stuff, to then being freelance and constantly thinking about where my paycheck is coming from, or like when. And I don't know, like, it all happened. I really jumped in. I really like dove in because I was like, wow, I can actually make this a life. So it was really exciting and really like about, and I was doing better financially than I ever had before. And so I was so comfortable in a different way. And it felt like I had to think about money so much less. And then, I've been doing it for 2 years now, and I moved and I spent more money, and I entered a new tax bracket, the bottom of it, but still. And then I owed the IRS so much money because I needed to pay them back for my insurance. And it all kind of caught up with me. I had the freedom, and I still do, but I definitely had to make up for the way I didn't pay attention.
Sure.
And so, yeah, now it's like, it's catch up time.
Right. Can we frame that real quick? Because I think that's going to cause a little weight, right? Of like, where I'm at now is because I didn't pay attention,
Mhm.
versus that was a healing experience to feel that free with money. And
Mm-hmm.
now I get to move forward differently. Like I think about people who have been dieting for years and years and years and years and years, fucked up relationship with food and our bodies, right? I mean, all of us have that to an extent, as women specifically. And when you finally allow yourself to eat things that were previously off limits and you like get into the intuitive eating realm, all of a sudden it's like you go all the way to the other end of the spectrum to heal because you've restricted for so long or you've had so much like barriers around whatever you could for so long. Of course, you have to swing all the way to the opposite end of the spectrum. The
Yeah.
pendulum has to swing. But the thing about a pendulum is it's always going to come back to the middle. So I
Right.
want you to think about like what a beautiful experience you were able to give to yourself of like, oh my God, I'm freelancing and I'm not starving. Fuck yes. Of course, I'm not going to worry about it because I never thought this was possible. So you
Right.
swung all the way the other way. And now pendulum swinging back to the middle where you're like, and now I felt that. I know it's possible. Thank
Yeah.
God I had that. Amazing. Now I get to move forward with more numbers in my mind so I can do more of the things I want to do. I can take more time. I can stop ghostwriting and only do my writing, right? Now you have bigger dreams.
Right, right. Yeah, that I appreciate that reframe because I definitely have a little bit of shame, well, a lot of shame, grow Catholic, but I like have a lot of shame around this. Like, I thought I was like on the up and up, and I was and am, but there's just, well, one, it's like my new norm, and then also, yeah, there's just other stuff to take care of, and on to the next, hopefully after this season.
Yeah. I also think you're not celebrating enough of your financial wins. Like,
Mhm.
can we just talk about how casually you said I have $21,000 in my savings account?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, that's a really big deal. After and during being in a season of spending,
yeah.
that's a really big deal. Like, have you celebrated the fact that you became a full-time freelancer? Like, have you had moments to be like, holy shit, I'm not a starving artist?
I had a moment the other day where like I had finished something and I like started jumping up and down and like squealing and I was like I haven't done that in like I don't know how long as an adult. I definitely don't I don't because it's so hard and I know we all experience it, but lately my eyes are on everybody else's paper. I'm like, what are you accomplishing? What are you doing? What are you doing that I'm not doing? And it's like, well, that it's not helpful to anyone, but like least of all me, because I'm not doing anything. So I definitely I definitely could afford to give myself a lot more grace and like celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another piece of homework for you is I want you to like go take yourself out on a celebratory date where the
Mhm.
only purpose is for you to bask in how much money you have made, bask in what you've created as an artist, bask in the $21,000 that's sitting in your savings account, bask in how many months ahead on bills you already are, bask in the $11,000 in your Roth IRA. Are you kidding me? Bask in it. You're going to have some resistance to this because it's going to cause you to be like, I have so much money and I'm so happy. And we hate that, right? Like it's the
Yeah.
most uncomfortable feeling. But that's your task, that's your job.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay.
whatever environment you need to go be in, whether this is like taking yourself shopping somewhere and deciding you're going to buy yourself one item that signifies this new life for you, or if you want to go sit at I mean, one of my favorite things is going to a bar downtown, a really nice hotel bar, and like getting a cocktail and watching everyone at the fancy hotel bar, like get in that energy.
Hmm.
You could go to a coffee shop and just like do a whole ass journaling moment if that's what really gets you in the mood. Like anything that makes you feel that, go have a date and go like spend a little bit of money
Hmm.
on that identity integration.
Yeah.
Because I think that's part of what's happening here too is like you can't believe the life that you've created for yourself and you're scared that if you take money out of your savings, it's all going to come crumbling down.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I mean, it's like freelancing is the best, like it's the best in so many ways. And it's also like constantly, I feel like I'm constantly operating on a shaky foundation, even Like, I feel like I always have to be just in case like a client falls through or just in case, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And so the fluctuation of being a freelancer is only scary and terrifying if you don't have money in the bank, right? And when you have money in the bank and you're still feeling that, then it's a mindset issue,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
so this is why I wanted us to literally divvy up your savings buckets, because you're 3 months ahead on bills and you still have $9,000 left over. No, more than that. Hold on, let me do that math. If you're $12,000, hold on, 21.
yeah. About 9,000. Yeah,
$9,000.
yeah,
Thank you. I did that math. When I do
yeah.
on Zoom without my calculator,
You're
I
good.
can't express it. You still have $9,000 left over. You can keep that $1,800 in your vacation fund, right? And then you still have
Yeah,
$6,200 left over. 72. Oh my God. See, this is what happens when I put the calculator down. You
it's
still
fine.
have thousands of dollars left
Yes,
over
yeah.
to put into other buckets, right?
Mhm.
And still have your tax bucket full. Like, go
Right,
play with the tactical numbers of your savings. And then, as much as you need to go remind yourself that you're good, go look at the bank account. Don't tinker. Don't
right.
get in a spreadsheet. You're just going to go pull up the bank account and have a conversation with him. Be like, I see you, right? Like, you can talk to the version of you
Like a
who's
heart.
screaming and
Yeah,
be like, hey, little starving artist version of me, I want you to look what I did for us, right? Look what I did for us. That's why I know it's scary, but
yeah.
look here, like, what a beautiful thing you get to do for you just have to remember to talk back to that part of you.
Yeah, definitely. That seems to be a theme of my life lately. But yeah, no, that's a beautiful way of looking at it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So to recap your homework, you're gonna go
Yeah.
divvy up your buckets.
Mhm.
You're gonna go find your actual numbers.
Mhm.
You're going to create a separate checking account that you spend out of, right? So you don't have to budget, but you can also have consistency in your spending. Because if
Mhm.
our income's going to fluctuate, let's have some consistency in our spending, right?
Right.
So that the rest of it can be in savings for anything else that pops up. Yeah, play with your buckets to show yourself that you have money for this time where you're going to take a step back. And
Mhm.
no matter what, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go have a celebratory date moment to bask in everything that you've created over these past few years.
Right. All right. I got
Cool.
it.
Any other questions, thoughts, feelings as we end today?
Um, no. I mean, you know, I don't know if this is something that you feel comfortable speaking to, but I wonder if you have any advice for just like I'm having a s- a period of life where I'm having to spend more money on my health.
Mhm.
And there's like a lot of weird shame around that. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, I shouldn't have to do this. And it's like, well, yeah, sure. Like we could get into the politics and the maneuvering of that. But like, I was talking to a friend, I was like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't pursue this and I won't have to spend money on it. He was like, well, your health. Like, do you have any encouragement or words in that direction?
Yes. Okay. I'm going to give you a podcast episode to listen to.
Please.
It's called What to Do About Inflation. In this episode, I talk a lot about the energy of something that's not your fault, something that's our country's fault, our government's fault, our capitalistic society's fault, right? That's not on you. And there's a lot of rage and anger around that. And then how to separate that from your personal money. So this
Okay.
is similar. It's in the same vein as
Yeah.
the health stuff, because what's happening is what I'm hearing is I shouldn't have to spend money on this creates anger and frustration in I shouldn't have to spend the money, creates a weird dynamic between you and your money every time you hit submit payment, right, on whatever bill comes through. And
Mhm.
then you're mad about that. And so that causes you to not want to spend the money, right? So then you feel like a weird anger and guilt. And then you're also carrying the weight of like the fucked healthcare system, and it's
Mhm.
coming into your personal bank accounts,
Right.
right? So it's creating just this really sticky, muddy situation. Does that resonate?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, two things can be true at the exact same time. One, meta anger and rage at the system that has failed us here, healthcare wise, in America. And you can pay for all of your health needs easily and afford it, and it's no problem in your personal financial ecosystem. Both of those get to exist at the same time. And this will take conscious work. I still have to do this every time I get a healthcare bill because I go through the same exact thing, right? Where when I start to feel that anger and rage, I'm like, okay, this actually isn't about the dollars leaving my bank account. This is about my frustration at this bigger picture. So what do I need to do to process this rage? I'm not even going to do the bank account thing. I'm going to save that for my financial CEO party, right? I'm going to go process. I'm going to punch a pillow. I'm going to like listen to someone in my ear on a podcast that makes me feel better or like commiserate with the rage, or I'm going to take some action, right? That like helps me feel like I'm doing something to push us in the right direction, whatever it is. Feel that. When I'm less activated, right? It's usually about a week later, right? Less activated. When I go to actually pay the bill, and I do this during my financial CEO party, so my monthly money date, right? When I do all my money things, when I'm in that vibey excitement, I've took myself on a date, I'm feeling good, nervous system is relaxed. When I'm in that energy and I go to pay the bill, what I get to do is I get to look at my healthcare bucket inside of my savings account, and I get to be like, oh my God, Brooke, you are incredible for saving that money so that you can get the care you need. I'm so proud of you that even though you're scared shitless to spend money on healthcare stuff, that you still prioritize your body and your health. I'm so proud. I have that moment, and I get so proud of the fact that I can pay that bill so easily. So I'm creating a beautiful relationship with my own personal money around that bill, and continuing to tell myself, like, I love when you go to the doctor. Please keep doing it. Yay, celebration, gold star. We need that, right? And we're also not ignoring the like systemic problem and the rage that comes up. We're not like shoveling it down.
Right.
What comes for you
That's
there?
helpful. No, that's helpful. I think, I mean, it's simple and probably like I have a lot of realizations lately that I'm like, I've known this for a while, but now I'm actually putting words to it, where it's like, this seems to be like a symptom of the fact that I'm kind of letting my money run me rather than like celebrating that I earned the money to then use, you know?
All right.
So,
Yeah.
that's all extremely helpful and validating. Thank you.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Well, it was so lovely to see you. I'm so glad we got
Yes.
to have this call today.
Too. Thanks so much for taking the time. I was so excited to be able to get some time with you.
Yes. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. And yeah, I'll see you on Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Come join me on Instagram for more on how to build a simple, sexy relationship with your money. My Instagram handle is @NotStarvingArtists. And if you want to dive deeper with me, head to the show notes to learn more about one-on-one coaching. If you love this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend that you want to get rich with.